era of entertainment.
Welcome to the AOE channel. I'm your host, Ray. We got Kev in the chat right now. As you can see, say what up, Kev.
What's going on?
So you already seen the title. We talking about Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and we beat it. You know what I mean? We're going to give you our score, our spoiler-free first, and then we're going to give you our spoiler cast because, you know, we don't want to spoil anything. It's only been out for about a week or two at the time of this video. So take it away, Kev. What you think? Now, before we get it started, Kev played it on Switch 2, and I played it on PC. Two different experiences, still the same story, but, you know, different consoles. You know, he played it mostly handheld, right, Kev?
Yeah, I did. I tried to, and then I got to a point where I was like, all right, let me dock it real quick, and I played some of it on my monitor. Still a great experience regardless, yeah. It was still really good. Like, the performance was great. And I was surprised because I'm like, I didn't expect this much power out of like a little tablet.
Little tablet, pretty much, right? So
Literally.
I do have to let the whole audience know that I've played all the Resident Evils and Kev only played this one. So he's gonna keep his opinion is biased. I mean, I wouldn't say biased. It's a fresh opinion because he doesn't come in from the background. He's enjoying this game and experiencing getting this game as a first-time player. So he's a fresh set of eyes. So take it away, Kev. Give us your score.
I'm going to give it a solid 10 out of 10. Like, I loved everything about it. It was surprising with so many,
everything. So story,
everything. Yeah, the story was good. The gameplay was great. There was some stuff, like, towards the later part of the game where I was like, what the, you know, like, I'd not expected any type like that to show up. I was so surprised.
Right.
It was fun.
Now, me as a seasoned Resident Evil fan, you know, there's certain things you kind of expect because it's part of the franchise history. So I know you as a first-time player, you were, you know, experiencing that for the first time, you know, like certain enemies and certain, like the Licker, you never faced the Licker before, or the Mr. X, you never faced him before, and have him chase you around a whole police station.
No, yeah. I haven't. I've seen like clips, and that's about it. I've never played any of the games.
So after playing this one, are you going to go back and play the other ones?
Oh, absolutely. As much as outdated as one is, I'll still play it. Because, I mean, I know they got that HD remaster that came out like 15 years ago, so I'm definitely going to check it out.
Definitely check out mods too, because mods up it up to like 4K textures and stuff like that on PC, so it does look real good. But I do want to ask you, since you played on Switch 2, how was the performance? Because I know a lot of people say, you know, the Switch is still, you know, a little underpowered, but the Switch 2 has been doing, you know, it's been putting in work this generation. It's been out for a year. And, you know, we got some bangers. We got Cyberpunk that ran real well. So how did this one run?
This ran fantastic. And I have to give it to NVIDIA on this one because Nintendo chose them. And every other handheld uses like AMD. And FSR is great, but it's not perfect.
Right.
NVIDIA DLSS, it's beautiful.
It's
like,
peak,
honestly,
man.
I was really surprised. Yeah, there was very little points as Leon. There's a lot more going on where there was some slight like frame drips. But it wasn't anything crazy to like the point where it was unplayable or it looks splotchy or super like artifacty.
Right.
Obviously, it is going to be like lower settings, but like it still looked great, especially on the HDR screen. Yeah.
So what it ran at 1080p, right? 1080p 60, pretty much, as you can tell, because I know you can't really see like a system.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a lock 60. I would say it's like it stays in the high 50s to 60s. At some points, it may drop to like mid 40s. And that's about it. I never had like anything lower than that. Like it ran really good.
Nice. Okay, so that's Kev's review. He gave it a solid 10 out of 10. I'm gonna give you my review. I played on PC. You know, I played on my OLED, 4K. I was getting about 200 frames. You know, on the 4080. So it was running buttery smooth. Performance was amazing. This is probably the most optimized Resident Evil. Actually, all Resident Evils are pretty much optimized, so I didn't have any trouble there. So my review might shock a lot of people, you know. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. So
an 8, all right.
I gave it an 8, and the only reason: graphics 10 out of 10, performance 10 out of 10, controls 10 out of 10. What killed it for me was the story.
Narrative, all right.
And the only reason why the story killed it for me is because I've had that history, you know what I mean? Where like I played 1 on the PS1. You know, I played 2 on the PS1. I played 3 on the PS1. You know what I mean? And then 4 on the GameCube, and going off, moving forward from there. But like, you build this legacy and this history of Resident Evil and all these characters, and you pretty much retcon everything that happened those years. You know what I mean? So like, all this time we invested in these characters, now it's completely different. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it was kind of a letdown for me, but I get what they're coming from. Like I was telling the group chat earlier, like, the game is called Resident Evil Requiem, which is, if you look up the definition for Requiem, it's pretty much a throwback, a callback for the the legacy of stuff, so the games and stuff like that. But if you read Claire's report at the end, she pretty much lays out the line of the Resident Evil history moving forward. So this game, if you beat it, well, I don't want to get into spoilers because we just giving our review right now, but we'll get into spoilers shortly. But let's just say the story for OG fans will probably hit a little bit. It might not hit, but for me it didn't hit, so that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I know your brother said he loved it. I think he gave it like a 9 out of 10. He's also a seasoned player as well.
Right, yeah. So he loved it, but I would say that it did, like, after I explained it to him a little bit in the group chat, he was like starting to lean lower because he's like, yeah, they kind of fucked up here, and like it leaves a lot of plot holes, and like, usually a Resident Evil is a tight-knit story. It wraps up everything it needs to tell, and it'll leave you wanting more at the end. You know what I mean? This one definitely did leave you wanting more, but it left you with more questions than answers. And we'll get to those answers in the spoilers, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I gave it an 8. Kev gave it a 10. On the AOE scale, we take both reviews and we get the average. So the AOE review for that is going to be a 9 out of 10. Does that sound fair?
Passing grade, I'll take it.
That's a passing grade. That's an amazing game. I know Joe. Shout out to Joe. He gave it a 9 out of 10. Shout out to Jerry. He gave it a 9 out of 10. That's another seasoned player. And let's get straight into the spoilers. All right, Kev. Yeah. So tell me what you thought, because I need to hear your thoughts, because this is you gave it a masterpiece. You gave it a 10 out of 10.
I mean, I'm gonna go straight for I'm gonna go with Grace's side of things. It was cool, and coming from recently playing like Silent Hill 2 remake, which was my first time playing it, that horror aspect was just amazing.
The first person view and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely jumped a few times because like it's just random when they throw things. Like usually like the most like basic like jump scare tactic is like you got music, it gets really quiet, boom, and then you're kind of like expecting it. This one was like out of nowhere. Like they could be having a conversation and boom, something pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And, or like if you open up a locker and just like a body just falls out. I think that happened one time.
It wasn't really more puzzles. It was kind of more of just like checking some things off a list, because I don't know if you or your brother said it, but it was kind of like more of like getting objects, bringing them to where they need to be, and stuff like that. I wouldn't say there was like puzzles per se.
I think you're right, because this game did lack on the puzzles. Because I mean, when you think of Resident Evil, you think of pretty elaborate puzzles, and you probably heard that.
And that's what I was expecting, especially coming from Silent Hill 2 remake, where like,
right.
I felt like a genius sometimes just figuring some stuff out, even though like I was like, what the heck just happened? Or I know Jerry was watching me play most of it, and he helped me out like with a few things
with the puzzles. I think when you play Resident Evil 2, you'll see more of the puzzles.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, because 2 had more of the puzzles, like Silent Hill 2.
So I'm hoping it's more like that. It was still fun though, but definitely it was more like like a checkbox, just like, all right, I got this. Now I got to go to the East Wing. I got to grab this East Wing. But it was cool. Another thing about the Grace side is I would definitely I would give her voice actor like props, because like it was great. Like it didn't sound cheesy, it didn't sound fake, it didn't sound like forced. Everything sounded like genuine, and like
you
really,
thought she was really scared.
Oh yeah, it really immersed you into it. There was points where it got kind of annoying. I'm like, yo, shut up, you're freaking me out.
Yeah.
She's like breathing heavier or like stuttering. I'm like,
noise. No. I was getting mad with the stutter, and I'm like, dude, you're an FBI agent. What the fuck are you like so scared about? Yeah. Like you should be kicking ass right now. But like it made sense, because the way they Capcom pitched her character is like she's the survival horror side of Resident Evil, and then Leon's the action horror side, which it kind of satisfied 2 of the Resident Evil fan bases, which is kind of why my score is a little low because I didn't like the jumping back and forth in the game. So in the game, we're in spoilers, but you jump back and forth between Claire and Leon, and then like you'll play for Leon for like 10 minutes, and you're like, damn, I want to keep going, and then you switch over to Claire, and then you're like, fuck, now I gotta go sneak around this fucking zombie. I was just blasting holes through all these guys. You know what I mean?
And that's what makes it fun though, because like one zombie is like a big deal.
Is a threat, yeah.
Exactly. Like you have to figure out what to do with them. You have to go around and create things, which is also another big thing I liked. Like creating those purple vials was like awesome because like you didn't get a lot, but the ones you had, it's like, all right, well, I got to do this soon because they're gonna come back as like a liquor, you said?
Oh no, the blister heads.
Oh, yeah, the blister heads.
The
Yeah,
blister heads. Yeah, they're like crimson zombies from Resident Evil 1, where they come back stronger and they take hella fucking bullets to kill.
Oh, they were tough. Oh my god! And like, I feel like I wasted so much ammo in certain parts because I'm like, I'm screwed. I have no ammo, nothing there. I had to keep like looting and stuff like that, or pushing them away. There was a point where you're bringing the little girl with you, and like I got like chewed up like 3-4 times just doing that, and that was tough because like I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't. Surprisingly enough, because there was a point in the basement where you were carrying her and you had to run around. I went to like 2 areas thinking that's where the elevator was.
Yeah.
Completely not the case.
Were you carrying Emily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made sure I put her ass down on the couch and cleared out everywhere I had to run through. And
I never put her down once because I couldn't figure out what the button was to put her down.
To put her down.
Yeah, like it never came up on my screen. But then because right now I'm doing the replay on PC. On PC, like when you got near a couch, it pops up. So I was like, I don't know, maybe it was a glitch or maybe I didn't read it all the way, but there was like nothing. I hit like every button on my Switch trying to figure out how to put her down. So I ended up just like running through all that stuff. I got chewed up like twice, but.
So what about Leon's parts? Because I know that you coming from Silent Hill, you're more of the survival horror experience versus Leon's more action focused, and he's not really one that you want to sneak around with.
Oh no, I mean he was just cool. Anything he did, it was just like damn.
He was flashy. He was fucking kicking people. He was fucking suplexing motherfuckers.
One part I did find annoying about him is that like he definitely could have saved this nurse, and you probably know the scene with like the chainsaw and like you just walk in there. He definitely could have saved her.
He watched the zombie walk up and then start the chainsaw. And fucking he just didn't do shit. That what's crazy is that during the demos, people were saying the same shit. Like he could have definitely saved her, but they gotta cause start that tension and shit like that.
No, and it was like he said like a cheesy one-liner after that. I'm like, oh man.
That's Leon, because when you play as Leon, he's the one-line guy. Like he's throughout the whole the whole game. I say that he's dropping one-liners and kind of like being comedic in some aspects. But in this game we know we do visit the ruins of Raccoon City. As in part 2, it gets nuked after you escape from the city. That's a little spoiler for part 2 if you haven't played it, Kev. And
I figured something happened throughout the games because I mean I went straight to 9.
You jump straight to 9, and it's like this is a Requiem, which made a lot of callbacks to the original games. Like I was telling in the group chat, it had callbacks from 4, it had callbacks from 2, even to 1, even hints of 5, So it's a lot of callbacks in this game, but overall, it was a decent story, not the greatest story. I don't really want to get into the story because they changed a lot of Resident Evil history, especially at the end, spoilers, where they kind of changed Spencer's whole aspect and thought of the world, where he actually felt regret for what he did, creating all the viruses and causing all this havoc in the Resident Evil world.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I thought it was like more of like I thought Victor was kind of like laying it out, like kind of like it's gonna start anarchy because all these nations were using bioweapons, and now they have nothing because there's a cure.
Yeah, so Victor was which one?
He was the like at the end when he's talking to the clone.
Oh, okay, yeah. So no, you see, you're thinking as Victor, his name's Gideon, so you got the names wrong.
Oh, I thought it was Victor Gideon or Dr. Gideon.
Oh, Dr. Gideon, yeah, the guy with the little mask. You was throwing me off when you said Victor because I'm like, hold on, Victor? Who the fuck is Victor? But Gideon is the doctor, you know what I mean? So he's, is it Victor Gideon?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, it is.
Oh, so I was calling him Gideon the whole time. So yeah. So Gideon or Victor, he was, Spencer's fucking protege or whatever. So he was saying like, my master and shit like that. This is gonna cause anarchy because it is the antivirus for all the viruses. So it's gonna destroy all the weapons that Spencer helped create in the RE universe and stuff like that. It just seems weird because I sent it in the group chat in Resident Evil 5. He gave a speech, in 5 Spencer. I'm talking about where like he was saying like I'm a god. I'm gonna become a god. Like he had that god complex. And then now we changing that to where like, oh, actually before he died, he didn't really want to, he felt sorry and remorse for all this shit. So it's kind of weird, but it shows that Resident Evil is changing, and now we got a legit storyline where we can follow for Resident Evil 10.
Yeah.
So you definitely got to catch up for that.
No, definitely. I will say my favorite part of the entire game was fighting the giant spider. That was just so out of left field.
Yeah.
When I like think of like Resident Evil, I just think of zombies or like some like big mutated guys or like some really like bulky, hulky type characters.
Yep.
The fact there was a giant spider and like a little army of its babies was like the coolest thing
That's
ever.
the thing. And that's the shit, man. You got to play all the other ones because we got giant spiders, we got giant snakes, we got giant crocodiles, we got sharks. We got they was experimenting with everything.
No, but the thing is with me is I thought the giant spider it was because of like the nuclear like
Yeah. Because
thing,
of the blast, like they kind of mutated. Yeah, like the plant, like Plant X, I believe they called it. Yeah, Plant X, the plant that you fight.
Oh yeah, the plants underneath. Yeah. That I forget about. That fight was okay.
Yeah, it was kind of mid, but it is a callback to the original Resident Evil 1, where you actually fight the giant spider, you fight the plant, and I believe you fight the crocodile in 2. Yeah, the spiders are from 1.
That's pretty cool.
But
I mean, it was my favorite part though.
yeah, but the spiders were in the mansion, which was in the mountains off at the side of Raccoon City. So I don't know how they came down, but it could have been, they escaped the lab that was underground. So, when you're walking around, I kind of anticipated it just because I started looking at webs and I'm like, yeah, there's got to be a big ass spider making them webs.
When it started coming out of the freeway, I was like, what the hell? I did not expect.
And then he's trying to run and fucking trying to blast it.
No, it was pretty cool.
Man. So, I mean, overall, great Resident Evil game, It didn't lack at all. We got, Capcom doing great things with the franchise ever since, they fucked up 6. They kind of fell off for a bit, and then they came back with 7 was a good one. 8 was a good one. 9 was amazing. And yeah, that's our review. So hope you guys liked our review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. You got anything else to say, Kev?
They should have done more with Zeno, or however you want to pronounce his name. But that's about it.
Peace.
Everybody take it easy.